With there being so little time left before the return of Bleach's final arc, the 1,000-Year Blood War, I'd like to take some time to go over why Cour 3 might just be the greatest piece of Bleach-related media we've ever seen. Before that happens, though, make sure to leave a like. Bleach is about to take up some residency on this channel, so if you're excited for that, and you're excited for this new Cour, then, like I said, make sure to leave a like. Now let's start with the big one, the studio shakeup. Because after the second Cour of Bleach finished airing back in 2023, it was revealed that the third Cour would be delayed until further notice, which caught everyone by surprise. And for good reason, since most of the time when something gets delayed, it usually, more often than not, means there's huge problems going on behind the scenes. And if a new release date is ever given, expect the worst when it drops. However, this particular situation was thankfully nothing like that. In fact, it actually turned out to be the opposite, because in May of this year, during an interview with one of the higher-ups at Period, he disclosed that, and I quote, "After analyzing the current environment of the anime-manga industry, the anime studio has realized that fans prefer watching high-quality anime that can be produced in a short amount of time, like Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer. Hence, Studio Period launched a new subsidiary studio called Period Films. And while trailers may not be the best indicator of how well an anime will look overall, because they're obviously only going to show off the pinnacle of what they have to offer at that time, they still do offer the slightest hint as to what we should expect. And from everything that's been shown, I think it's safe to say that this Cour might just blow the first two out of the water. At least from an animation perspective. I can't speak too much on the story. I do want to make one thing absolutely clear here, though. While I do expect the animation to be better in this Cour in comparison to the previous two, I am in no way going to set myself up by expecting animation at the level of Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen, and I don't think anyone else should either. For one, the delay just wasn't long enough to provide something like that. And two, if we did actually happen to get that level of quality animation, the unfortunate truth would be that it would most likely mean that the staff was crunched to all hell. And that is a work practice that I would like to see nowhere near the name of Bleach. It happened with the second season of Jujutsu Kaisen. MAPPA got their name dragged through the mud week after week with all of these horror stories coming out from the animators, and even one of the most high-profile, prolific animators of our time came out and said that he would never work with MAPPA again because of what went down with Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. There was a lot of pain, a lot of discourse, a lot of strife, and it actually caused quite a few people to drop the series altogether because they just couldn't support something like that. Also, one thing to note which is nowhere near as bad as the supposed crunch, but Period have stated that the use of CGI will be upped for this particular Cour. Given how it was handled in the past, though, personally, I'm not really concerned about how it might turn out, but again, while standards should be high because of what's been explicitly stated, I'd caution to keep them measured, just so you aren't disappointed by what the Cour actually has to offer. Anywho, what's also been great about the switch up at the studio is just how involved Kubo has been in its production. Not only is the creator of the series giving advice on how things should be done, he's also been providing storyboards to the animation staff to show them what he thinks certain scenes should look like. Which is pretty mind-blowing to me because I've never heard of a mangaka doing something like this before. Usually, a mangaka will be somewhat involved with the production, but going that far is wild. Although, given how controversial this entire arc was in the manga, from not only a story perspective, but from a health perspective as well, it really shouldn't be that much of a surprise that he's taken the initiative to improve what he might have fell short on the first time around. But he was given a second chance to fix the mistakes he made, and he's not sitting idly by. Kubo's going full throttle and making this war arc the best it can possibly be. And in what I just said, there's another reason as to why his involvement is such a big component to the hype surrounding Cour 3. Because outside of some general guidance and storyboarding, like in Cour 1 and 2, he'll be providing some exclusive anime original moments, which in the past were moments that helped give greater context to the story that was unfortunately excluded from the manga due to, well, previously mentioned health problems. Now, another reason to be so unbelievably hyped about Cour 3, and this just so happens to be the main reason for my excitement, is Aizen. Yes, the man, the myth, the legend is returning for not his debut, because we already saw him in Cour 1 and 2. Well, at least mentioned in Cour 2. I don't believe the anime ever actually showed him, but nevertheless, he's about to become a star player in this next Cour. Now, to what extent, I thankfully have no idea, because I've spent my time carefully and meticulously avoiding any and all spoilers. All I do know is that he's had the Hogyoku inside him for quite some time now, and his power has almost certainly increased to never before seen levels. So when he shows up, he's most certainly going to show out, and I can't wait for when that moment comes. And while there are many more reasons to be excited for this Cour, like potential matchups, the last one I'll go over here is one of the biggest ones for me. That being the music. Thanks to the trailers, we've been given the opportunity to hear the main opening song for the anime, and it is an absolute banger, in my opinion, since music is subjective. But aside from the opening, and if Cour 1 and 2 are anything to go by, I'm sure the music this time will be just as incredible. With tracks that have come prior, like the Squad Zero OST, which is absolutely phenomenal. The one from the Stern Ritter, which is also great. The new version of Number 1. I can only imagine, with all of this that has been presented, what other spectacular works Shiro Sakisu and his music team have come up with this time around. But one thing I do know is that he's a musical genius, so even though I may have no idea what's actually coming, there's still no doubt in my mind that he'll deliver for sure. Because he always does. The man's made every single iconic track that's ever come from this series, and he's not about to drop the ball now. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, with all of that said, I believe that is going to do it for this one. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe with the notifications on. And while you're doing all that, specifically commenting, let me know, what are you most excited for in Cour 3 of Bleach 1000 Year Blood War? Is it the fights? Is it the music? Is it the return of the great, never late Aizen? I'm excited to see what the responses are. It better be that third option, I'll tell you that much right now. If it's not Aizen, like, come on. Enough yapping though. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody!